Kamehameha Schools has entered into final negotiations with a new lessee, Hawaii Forest, to oversee operations and harvesting of more than 10,000 acres of forest on the Hamakua coast. They are calling it a major step in the selection process.
So in 1994, Kamehameha Schools had the opportunity to acquire 30,000 acres of land from the former Hamakua Sugar Company. We saw it as an opportunity to become a part of Hamakua, and since then we have transitioned the lands from sugar to a variety of uses: small-scale commercial, residential, diversified ag, pasture, and predominantly timber forest. Our new lessee will be responsible for a variety of things, including ongoing harvesting of the timber forest, remediating the condition of the land, working with us in a long-term plan for the use of these lands beyond timber, including a possible transition of some of these lands to other diversified agriculture or community uses. We're excited to be at this point in our process, to have selected a new lessee, to have a new partner to go forward with in Hamakua, to continue to bring economic development and industry to our community here, and to have a great steward of our lands.
This is not the only development that could involve the tree stands lining the Hamakua coast. Honua Bioenergy is moving forward as well.
We are in contract to acquire enough trees to meet our base, and then on the island there are something like 30,000 acres of trees that are ready to be harvested, and we're in conversations and have been in conversations with all of the different forest and timberland owners to finalize those contracts once we get the PPA in place. The main source of fuel for us will be the eucalyptus trees here on the Hamakua coast, but also in Pahala. There's a good stand of trees in Pahala.
Back in 2012, Kamehameha Schools joined other forestry industry representatives testifying in support of Honua during a PUC hearing held in Hilo.
Kamehameha Schools is the lesser of approximately 16,000 acres of land that has been planted in eucalyptus trees, 12,000 of which are located along the Hamakua coast. The Honua Bioenergy Biomass Power Plant will afford our lessees the opportunity to utilize their resource directly into a local market. Kamehameha Schools' current plans are to continue with land use agreements that will ensure the opportunity of potential supply to the biomass power plant. It is these types of commitments that are required to establish the foundation of an evolving forest industry here in Hawaii. The biomass power plant assures landowners of an existing biomass market. This market encourages the possibility of current and emerging reforestation as well as afforestation efforts of both native and non-native timber species. Provided the current cost of forest establishment, the biomass market is an essential piece of the forest industry that makes long rotations of our native species more economically viable. The significance of economic viability is the potential of incentivizing other landowners to participate in the forest industry from both an economic as well as from a conservation perspective.
That was before the bioenergy project was temporarily derailed by a lawsuit. A lot of Hamakua's harvested wood has already been sold overseas, shipping out of Kauai Harbor.
GMO has already started harvesting of its eucalyptus forest in Hamakua and created jobs for our island. Those jobs today include equipment operators, truck drivers, mechanics, scalers, and increased activity at the harbor for the stevedores.
The practice was not without controversy, however, and in 2015, a fast-moving brush fire swept over the area, engulfing the hundreds of stacked logs waiting to be shipped. Since then, Honua has gotten back on track, but the lawsuits are not over yet. The nonprofit Life of the Land organization is challenging the Public Utilities Commission ruling that paves the way for the resurrection of the old Pepeakeo power plant as a biomass facility. We spoke with Life of the Land Director Henry Curtis by phone in May before the PUC rendered its decision.
And it seems, from my understanding of it, they want eucalyptus trees, and then they're going to plant lucana. And my understanding is lucana is an invasive. And they're going to be taking these trees from the Pahala area and transporting them 70 miles to their power plant. The traffic study they did is only on what the impacts are right at Sugar Mill Road and the highway. It is not where they're chopping down the trees and bringing them out onto the highway in Pahala.